What's up, guys? What's happening, yo? Welcome to another episode of Appu in Wonderland. The times we live in is definitely exciting, you know. I got a little busy the past 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and I was sort of out of sync with what was happening in the world because I was lost in my own bubble trying to secure my bloody life and feel comfortable enough to, think out of the box stuff, or, think for society or for the bigger, for more than me. You know what I mean? I was freeing up some time. I was doing all the things necessary to be able to think beyond me, which is very important, which is what the other ideas and all are, like, the one I was talking about, the house and living conditions, being self-sustainable. Because when you are self-sustained, like when you have everything that you need is fulfilled easily, without much pain or pressure, or it just happens easily. Like, for example, like we go do 8 to 5, 9 to 6 work so that we can make money, so that this money is we can put this money into food and housing and education and all these things. Basically, we are working for money so that we can fulfill our basic needs. And when people have extra money, they go take vacations and buy experiences or buy stuff. So what I'm trying to point here at is money is just like an enabler, to fulfill your basic needs. And as discussed before, most of your basic needs, that is your energy, your food, a lot of your medicine, education, all of this can be free. Like, free in the sense, like, you don't need to pay another person for it if you are willing to take responsibility for yourself. Meaning, the amount of time that you put into making money can be drastically reduced, So when the time that you put for making money is reduced, then your brain or your being is capable of thinking beyond your self-sustenance, and you are put in a mind frame to think for others. Okay, think about the world, think about your society, think about more than just your direct family. And it's a very important place to be if we are to evolve together. Like, right now, the biggest problem is everyone is stuck trying to self-sustain, and we are not able to think beyond self-sustenance, in the sense you and your direct family. Like, the case has become so bad these days that anyway, never mind, I'm not gonna go there. Let's just not talk about that. But you get my point. In my perspective, if we are to think beyond ourselves, we need to make sure we are secure. And the money system, or our the modern day economics, the economic world, or the modern day reality, is that we are never free from it. We are perpetually spending time to ensure our sustenance. At least most of the working class people, like whoever needs to work, it doesn't matter you're making a lot of money or not, but all your time is invested in, sustenance. Like you might be a millionaire, but you are doing everything to keep your millions, and you don't have time to think beyond that. It's no different from a guy who might be making $10,000 a month, or like $5,000 a month. It's no different. It's the same story. You and that guy's fate is the same. So it is important, in my view, that we are free from that cycle of perpetual need to work, for money. That is very important. Like, I'm not saying do not work. You can work. You work for a small time, work for a project, make some money, and imagine you have like $100,000. Maybe if you are living a self-sustained life, that $100,000 is more than enough for like 10 years. God knows. You might want to just replace your solar panels once in a while. Maybe the water filter you want to replace. Get some brand new batteries. Maybe get a new 3D printer. The limits, the need for money reduces when you're self-sustained, and that was my point earlier. And if every family unit was self-sustained with its own open network connection, and with the housing having enough computing powers, blah blah blah, a lot is possible. A lot of independence is possible in the future, for sure. Anyway, so once you are in this position, so I was trying to tell you that I was lost in my bubble, trying to put my head back into balance, where I have enough time to think about other stuff too. I was like busy making money, trying to ensure the next 3-4 months I can have an easy peasy life. Anyway, so that I can use my time for something more important, how I can ultimately free completely from this mess, Anyway, so today morning I spent quite a lot of time, in fact, like my whole 4-5 hours in the morning I was immersed in cryptocurrency, and of course I've been a follower of cryptocurrency. I haven't got any investments as such in cryptocurrencies as of now. I did use cryptocurrencies earlier on, just for making few transactions, but apart from that, I don't hold any bitcoins or Ethereum or Litecoins or whatever. And so today morning I thought, okay, maybe I should put something in any of one of these things, and I was investigating, what to do, which was the right coin to invest in. And so and when as I searched today, and I realized that there has been a boom of cryptocurrencies. There are so many cryptocurrencies out there that it's even hard to keep track of them. Of course, there is a couple of some 10-15 of them which is quite popular these days. But anyway, what forced me, what happened when I saw all these cryptocurrencies today was it forced me to take a step back. It forced me to take a step back and look at it. Okay, what the hell is all this? Why is there so many of these things over here online? I mean, available right now, and I can just buy any of it and hope its value goes up and blah 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 blah. What I firstly would like my friends or you guys to understand is that making money of cryptocurrency, in the sense, okay, I bought some 0.005 bitcoins for some, I don't know, $500 or $1,000. What I'm trying to tell you is this particular dollar and bitcoin transaction, and trying to make money and having your value grow as bitcoin's value grow in dollars or any other current world currencies, is just a byproduct. What I'm trying to say is this whole valuation and all is just a byproduct of this whole technology. It's not, it was not meant to be an money making tool, like how a lot of people perceive it today. You get what I mean? What I mean to say is, like, when I buy one Bitcoin, I don't buy it with the intention to make money. That was the idea, at least long time back. When it was introduced, the idea was that people jump onto this bandwagon so that they can transact, they can send and receive value and store value without a third party, which namely being is banks. Because the moment banks is introduced, which is a human element. Now, with human element, we have human problems. We have the problem of greed and villainous financial instruments meant to hoard value into the hands of the whales and the sharks of the stock market. There is fanciful terminologies to hide simple ideas behind whales, so that the common investor doesn't realize that one day his hard-earned money, his hard-earned retirement fund is just going to vanish into thin air. He had no idea. And that is what happened in 2008. And to fight against that is when Bitcoin as such was born by this unknown, it was put into a paper by this unknown Japanese dude, and I forgot his name, Sato, whatever his name is, whatever. Anyway, it doesn't matter, you guys Google and find that out. But my point is, what he did, I respect his actions. That is why he's important. His actions were very crucial, because he set the small he set in motion the great tsunami of cryptocurrency it is today. So, in 2008, when the banks collapsed, the creator of Bitcoin, well, his intention was like to have a decentralized method to exchange value. He lost complete faith in banking industry. One man lost faith in banking industry, and he had the technological knowledge to implement a methodology to not need a human element to transact value. That's what essentially happened. Like, he created something that would bypass banks, and in theory, in a decentralized way, and that expression or that desire is in its tsunami form in today's world. In 2017, that small droplet of change or desire of change instigated by this guy, Mr. Satoshi, I'm not sure about his name, I'm sorry, but I respect this guy, I respect his action. I'm sorry, I don't remember his name, but his action will forever live through the history of humanity. The futuristic history of humanity. His name will be imprinted, engraved, his action. Because his action, his desire for change is what has become this monstrous tsunami which can't be ignored by the government or the banking cartel today, and they are forced to jump into this bandwagon. That is why these guys have their own cryptocurrencies all over the place. Anyway, what I'm trying to point out here is, guys, if you feel something is right, if you feel something needs to be done, you should do it, irrespective of the fact that you have support for it or people around you understand or not. Doesn't matter, because you never know, that action might change the world tomorrow. And that is exactly what happened with Bitcoin in 2008 when this guy introduced this thing. More and more people had clearly lost faith in banking industry, and and they saw this alternative. They read about his idea, and a small team of people set about creating the technological infrastructure to make it happen. And as it happened, more and more people heard about it, and they were like, hey, this sounds like a good idea, I'm being almost in control of my money, and I don't have to hear like, hey, tomorrow, my bank account is wiped out because the market's collapsed or some shit like that. My Bitcoin will be safe in my hands. That idea was very strong and resonated with a lot of people who were aware of the evils of the banking cartel. They jumped onto the Bitcoin bandwagon as and when it became available to them, and over the past almost 9-10 years, you have what Bitcoin is today, a giant tsunami of change for the financial industry. It is disrupting the whole financial industry today, and that is awesome. Don't you see the power of one guy's desire to change the world? And when he acted upon it, you can see it happen now, and you and me can be part of it. Okay, it has exploded into a variety of dimensions, and variations has come on. Variations is required because Bitcoin as such isn't the perfect plan. I believe there's no perfect plan, but a perfect idea. Bitcoin is having its own snags, and we are facing it, and that's why you see a lot more other cryptocurrencies coming up. So the intention was that, but this is the true intention. This was the true intention, to take over the power of value exchange by the masses, and that is exactly what happened. Even though today there are a lot of corporates and banks creating their own cryptocurrencies and trying to get people to use them. It's all happening, and we need to be aware of what this is all about in the first place to even choose. It's all about trust, guys. It's all about where the masses are, what tool the masses are going to use. Okay, if the masses decide that, okay, from now on the cryptocurrency of choice is for us is Bitcoins. If masses decide that, any valuation when you take against that chosen coin, that is made be Bitcoin or made be Litecoin or made be, I don't know, OTA, or I don't know, there's so many cryptocurrencies out there. It's all about what we choose, what the masses choose, and the powers are doing everything to get the commoners to choose the coin of their choice, the cryptocurrency of their choice, the infrastructure of their choice. So when you decide to go with cryptocurrency, you need to look into the future. You need to imagine your future. Do you want it to be a dystopian world, or do you want it to be a utopia? If you want it to be a dystopian world, then you just have to choose any coin that is being centralized, any form of centralized coins, and of course the centralized coin will in the first stages of adoption will have generally a high value, because the government and the banking agencies and all those guys will be in favor of those coins which they are in control of, and the ones that they are not in control of, you will find them being criticized and being prone to attacks from various organizations, not just technically but in perception also. Like you have the presidents of big banks calling Bitcoins as a fraud and as a scam, and it's like it's not real currency and all that shit. And calling it Bitcoin the big greatest bubble and all that stuff. There is a certain difficulty in Bitcoin in terms of scalability and in terms of micro transactions, because microtransactions seems to be very expensive. Like imagine I need to send you $100, and to send you $100 I had to spend, like today I had to spend like $28 on top of $100 to send you $100. You get the idea. The transaction fee is very high. So so you can't have microtransactions like 2 dirhams or $2 or $5. It doesn't make sense to transact $5. You end up paying $28. So issues are there, of course, which we can sort out, and maybe there are other kinds of cryptocurrencies and blockchain variants which address these issues. But among all these, whatever you choose to work with or invest in or support, I wouldn't call it invest. It's just not about investing, okay, throwing some money into it and just walking away. No, there is a certain activism that you need to bring into this whole thing if the whole world needs to change, and so you need to choose your choice of cryptocurrency, and you need to tell the people around, adopt it, so that the sooner we transact our day-to-day needs in our choice of cryptocurrency, the more free we are. The more freer we get, the more time we get, the more mind space we get to think of greater ideas. It is very important.